Welcome to Justice for, a true crime podcast hosted by two besties from Colorado. We're focused on bringing justice to the victims by telling their stories. New episodes release every single Tuesday, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and the follow button anywhere that you can find us, and you'll get updates on all of our new episodes.
Just a warning, this podcast does contain adult language and adult themes, such as assault and abuse of varying forms, so please listen and watch with discretion. Think back to when you were a teenager in high school. You were young, impressionable, always thought you were right, and that all of the decisions you made were right, and that no harm could ever come to you. Especially when you are with people who you think are your friends. Oh, how we were dumb.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Justice For. We're your hosts. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Sam. Oh, yeah, it's me. Sorry. I'm not used to it being me right after I say my name.
I switched it up today.
Freaking me out. So, today's episode is absolutely heartbreaking. It's one that has stuck with me and probably you
Oh, yeah.
since it happened.
Since it happened.
Yeah.
Never forgot it.
Not that, all the stories that we tell aren't heartbreaking, but, this one, there's just something about it that's just so tragic. And I don't know if it's because of the family or the brutality of it or because of the reason, why it happened. I can honestly think of some other reasons too, but let me just tell you the story and see how you feel about it. Okay? This is also going to be a long one, you guys. I'm just going to warn you right now. We have
really long.
Yeah, we have a lot of ground to cover. There was a lot that fucking happened. So, again,
And you know us, we cannot scrimp on details. We try.
There's no way.
But it doesn't happen.
There's no reason for it.
No, there's not at all.
You need to know everything.
You guys have listened to many almost 2-hour episodes for that.
You're welcome.
You are welcome.
However, once again, buckle the fuck up, buttercups. Hope you're ready. Buckled. So, I'm going to take you back to May 9th of 2021. It is Mother's Day in St. John's, Florida. The Bailey family siblings all wake up to go and make breakfast all together for their mom. However, before I continue on, who's the Bailey family? Let me tell you about them. Yeah. So, Forrest and Stacy Bailey are mom and dad. Okay. Brittany Bailey is the oldest sibling. Alexis Bailey is the second oldest. Sophia Bailey is smack dab the middle sibling. Middle siblings.
Middle child.
Unite. Tegan Bailey is the only son of the siblings. And then Tristyn Bailey was born on January 8th. Or January 20. Oh my gosh. January of 20. No.
2008.
Thank you. She was born on January of 2008. No.
Yeah.
We're just going to leave it.
That was... Okay.
Oh, we forgot to warn you guys.
We already did.
Hello. This plays before that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we got another microphone. So you're going to hear a producer, Kirsten.
So when you hear another random voice, it's her.
It's not God.
Don't be scared. It's not in your head. It's also not God.
Don't worry. It's not your conscience.
Are you my conscience?
I am.
How have you been? I'm so sorry, you guys.
We're so sorry.
Thing.
Okay.
So, Tristyn Bailey was born on January of 2008. She was the youngest of all 5 siblings. There is actually a 15-year difference between Brittany and Tristyn, Brittany the oldest, but that didn't stop them from all being super close with each other. The Bailey family seemed to just be just as perfect on the inside as everyone saw them to be. So, of course, every family has their faults, though, but they seemed like a genuinely wonderful family. They even called themselves the Bailey 7.
this may be the only family we ever talk about of this size, and that is just one big happy family unit and just loves to spend time together and be
Yeah.
a family.
Like,
And
genuinely.
it's like genuinely every single one of them, and it's so heartwarming.
Yeah. And like with that many children, I can only imagine how busy everyone was. Like always.
I have one kid, and we are so busy. I can't even imagine juggling 7.
Bro, I don't even have kids and I'm busy. Craziness. But like, I'm sure with them, like there's always something going on and someone either coming or going
An
constantly.
activity, something.
Yeah. However, even with all of their busy lives, the family always made sure that they got together on every single Sunday. Every single one. They even had a name for it. They called it the Bailey Sunday Fun Days.
And I just love that
I know.
so much.
Precious.
Like my family, we have Sunday fun days.
Yeah.
Well, now they're on Saturdays because I work Sundays, but we've always tried to have one day
Yeah.
that was just family time.
I love that.
I love it. Today's story unfortunately revolves around Tristyn. Her family says that she is the loudest of all the kids from the day she was born. They even described Brittany, I believe, described it as a squeal that came out of Tristyn that never stopped.
Yeah.
And her family and friends say that she is energetic, loyal, and can make friends with anyone. A super strong person who always stood up for her friends. And she was also described as having the most infectious and beautiful smile.
Mm-hmm.
And her pictures definitely show that.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Like she also had braces, and I know a lot of people who have braces that are just like they don't want to show off their smile because of it.
Yeah, they do like the
Yeah, she
smile.
embraced that shit though.
Yeah, and she was so like she's one of those, think of the girl in high school who had braces but was still like absolutely gorgeous and you didn't even notice them.
Absolutely.
That was Tristyn.
Mm-hmm.
So cheerleading was also a big part of the ladies in the Bailey family.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to get Tristyn to not get into it since it would be a huge commitment, and with 5 kids, that's a lot. But she was determined to get on the squad. I believe her mom said that if she got her, was it her back tuck or her back
back walkover?
Her back walkover. If she could get her back walkover, she would sign her up for cheerleading.
Mm-hmm.
And Tristyn did it so quick.
Yeah.
She wanted it so bad. And she worked her ass off from a young age of cheer and was all about it and very competitive. She started cheering at 8 years old.
So she got that shit done.
Yeah, she got that done quick. And almost all the pictures of her are in a cheer uniform.
Seriously.
Like she lived for cheerleading.
Yeah.
So back to May 9th, 2021. Brittany was on her honeymoon, Tristyn's oldest sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so the rest of the Bailey kids go to wake up 13-year-old Tristyn to help with breakfast and get ready for the Bailey Sunday Fun Day.
Mm-hmm.
However, she wasn't in her bed and she wasn't found anywhere else in the house. She also wasn't answering any texts and all the calls were starting to go straight to voicemail. She was never one to go somewhere without telling someone and not one to really sneak out either.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite kind of quotes from the sisters that come out is that the sisters kind of looked at each other and were like, but you're always back before dad wakes up at 6.
Like if you sneak out. It
was the unwritten rule that you were always home before 6 when dad woke up. And like I remember, like I knew what time my dad woke up. I knew what time to be home get home before 5 a.m.
Sorry, Christy.
And I told my sister that whenever she was in high school, just get home before dad wakes up. Sorry, Dad.
Wait, Christine. I'm so sorry, Christine.
Yeah, sorry about that. So, although it wasn't normal for them to sneak out, if they ever did, they knew the rule.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't back and she was answering phone calls, so her sisters got worried.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. And the family started panicking and they called the police around 10 a.m. to report her missing.
Mm-hmm.
Family and friends, as well as police, started calling her friends and checking around all of the areas where she would normally hang out, but they didn't find her. All of the Baileys were told to stay home and let the police start their investigation. There was a Florida missing child alert put out for Tristyn. And if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to put a picture up of that now. Right here. It's kind of like an Amber Alert, but it's not an Amber Alert. It's like a be on the lookout, but for a child. So it's being higher than a be on the lookout, but not a full-blown Amber Alert.
Yeah. So it's just like definitely a missing child, but she's not with someone. We
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
like there's no like immediate danger. Like they don't know where she is or who she went with, so they don't know what to put with the Amber Alert to make it an Amber Alert.
But
Yeah,
it was still a missing person report. It was
and it was
out there.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So since the family wasn't part of the search parties at the time, they decided to post on social media to get the rest of the community aware and on the lookout.
Mhm.
The community jumped into action and started helping the police look for her right away. Some of her friends were giving the family names of other people she may have been seen with.
I'm actually pretty sure the post that her dad put out on Instagram went like super viral.
Yeah, and that's kind of what kickstarted everybody outside of just
Yeah.
their circle looking for her.
Yeah.
So police were going to all of these people's houses to see if she was there or if they had seen her. One of the names that was given early on was Trey. And he went to school with Tristyn and lived pretty close to her as well.
Mhm.
When the police asked 14-year-old Trey if he had seen her, he said no, and that he didn't have anyone over at his house the night before. But as the police were still there questioning him, he starts hesitating and finally says that what he originally told them wasn't the truth. Then he lays the bomb on them that he had seen her. Tristyn, she had been at his house just after midnight.
Mhm.
And why wouldn't he just tell the cops that? Like,
I don't
this
know.
made him look so guilty.
Absolutely.
It was crazy. And, like, what else are you hiding if you hid this to start with?
right. Like her just being at your house. Like it's just like,
Yeah, like,
oh, she
why
was in
would it?
here. I'm just kidding. She
Like,
was
like I
here.
understand being a teenager, but, like, someone, your friend is missing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, he had also been hanging out with another friend of his named Aiden.
Mm.
And technically, Aiden is the one that called Tristyn and asked her to sneak out and come hang out with them. However, as Tristyn got to the house around 12:30 a.m., Trey basically said he was too tired and wanted them to leave. So Aiden and Tristyn left the house around 1 a.m. and started walking home together. One of the investigators on the case found out that Trey was supposed to be grounded and didn't want his dad to know that he had friends over, and that's why he lied to the cops. Like, I remember being a teenager and thinking getting in trouble with my parents was like the
The
worst
end of
thing
the
that could
world.
ever happen.
End of the world.
And like, I could see being like, oh God, if I tell the cops the truth, then my dad's going to find out and then I'm going to get grounded. But like at the same time, one of your classmates is missing.
I probably would have gotten in more trouble for lying to the cops.
Yes.
Telling
As a
my
teenager,
dad.
you didn't think about getting in more trouble for lying to the cops. You
Yeah.
just didn't want to get in trouble for what you already did while you were grounded. So
Yeah.
while I understand at the same time, teenagers, do the right thing. You're going to get in less trouble for telling the truth.
Please stop being so dumb.
Please. I know it's not going to happen, but please.
Also, if you're a teenager listening to this, bruh,
We're really happy because we're giving you a gut feeling.
why are you watching this? If you're 18 plus, please.
My 10-year-old nephew
Because we're
watches
very
us.
entertaining.
We are, but we're also talking about murder.
My 10-year-old nephew watches us and he loves it.
What the fuck?
He actually will like comment and be like on Barry Morphew, he was like, oh, well, he definitely did that. He had the darts.
Jen. Jen, are you kidding me right now?
They watch it on the way to the bus stop when she's like going to school.
Okay, I can't say anything because my friend Jen, I mean, he's a baby,
It's okay. We welcome audience of all ages.
but he always says, it's Sam. It's adorable. Never mind. Just
It's okay.
just watch our video. It's okay.
So,
I'm sorry. So, what?
Audience of all ages. I'm just.
although we have a warning
Like-
about this not being for audience of all ages.
It's not for all ages. Parental discretion advised as well.
Yes.
Just saying.
Okay, back to the story now.
So,
So,
who is Aiden?
yeah, who's Aiden?
Aiden Fushi is a 14-year-old who is an 8th grader at the same school as Tristyn and Trey. He also lives in the same neighborhood, but just a little bit further than Trey did. He and Tristyn were not really friends.
Okay.
Yeah, they knew each other from mutual friends, Trey, but that's about it.
Okay.
Okay. Police go to his house to question him and see if he's heard from her or like know where she might be, and he just replies with "Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh." Ugh. He goes on to say that they walked together until she got to her street and then they parted ways. The police actually left at this time though, because like, okay, cool, whatever. And then they end up
Like they're
coming
just like tracking down everybody who they thought had
some type of
like
connection.
some type of interaction with her that evening. They're
Yeah.
just talking to them and trying to figure out the timeline and what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And why they didn't give any reason to not believe him. So
Yeah.
like,
At this point, they're just gathering a timeline.
absolutely. However, they do end up coming back to talk to him just a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. That's a lie. I actually do know now. At the time I wrote this, I didn't know. His parents were technically there the first time, but his mom left him while he was talking and went inside.
Yes, I remember that
yeah.
from the footage that they released.
Yes, but the second time around, they did maybe a little bit of research or something
Yeah.
beforehand because there was a lot of discrepancies in his story that his parents started pointing out. Not him, his parents.
Which is really interesting
Mm-hmm.
for what happens after that.
I
Like later on.
I agree.
Yeah. You guys will understand in a minute. I just wanted to point that out.
Stupid. Anyway, let me tell you about these discrepancies. All right. So he says he had been hanging out with Trey at his house. Tristyn came over, and then he and Tristyn left at 1 a.m. That seems correct. They parted ways when they got to her street, and he continued home. Okay, cool story, bro. Then, why did your parents say, actually, according to the security cameras, you didn't get home until after 3 a.m.? Side eye.
Bombastic.
Like, please make that make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Make sense. Whatever. The police asked Aiden to show them the path that he took, that they both took from Trey's back to his house. And he did. His parents totally let him. And he was with the police in their patrol vehicle. And he told them, I actually lied to you guys again.
What is with these teenage boys in the line the
I don't
first
know.
time?
He admitted that she didn't go down her street. He then continues saying that they kind of got into some type of altercation. He claims that she tried to get a handful of his dick. Yeah. And got upset and shoved her and like yelled at her and got super angry and walked away.
For real.
Bruh.
Like, seriously, like, that's teenage boys. Like,
She just wanted my dick, bruh.
yeah, and what teenage boy is going to reject the advances of a teenage girl grabbing your dick?
Hold on a second. Wait, wasn't he the one that called her to get her to sneak out and come hang out with him?
Yeah, which makes it even less likely.
Mm-hmm. So the deputy ended up detaining him at this point because this was the first that they've heard that she may actually be injured in some type of way. And this happened around like 2 p.m.-ish, okay?
And super suspicious all around now for Aiden.
Yeah. So, around 6 p.m., a gentleman in the neighborhood was getting ready to head out for a jog that he goes on when his wife asked him to go look behind their house because they've had previous incidents of kids going back there and dumping trash.
I
So,
love a good crime junkie wife.
I agree.
Love a good crime junkie wife.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, you know, being the good husband and neighbor that he was, he went back there to check on all of it. That is when he stumbled across 13-year-old Tristyn Bailey's lifeless body. She was found in a wooded area by a cul-de-sac and plant nursery. There was also a retention pond nearby where she was. However, she wasn't actually far from the house. It was a pretty exposed area, and we're actually going to read part of the incident report that they found her. And we've actually removed any of the addresses in it though.
So Tristyn was located in a wooded area approximately 80 feet from the southernmost end of the retention pond south of the Durbin Creek Nursery. Tristyn was laying on her right side with her head pointed to the east, looking north, and her feet pointed to the west. Tristyn's right leg was bent slightly at the knee, and her left leg was bent at a 90-degree angle at the knee. Tristyn's right arm was extended with a slight bend at the elbow, and her left arm was bent at the elbow with her hand touching her chin. Tristyn was wearing a black Victoria's Secret shirt with the word pink on the front, black Nike brand sweatpants. Oh my god, that's what I'm wearing, but mine are white. Weird.
Oh.
Black and white slip-on Vans brand shoes. Tristyn's hair appeared to be matted and red in color, which appeared to be blood. Tristyn had multiple sharp force injury wounds on her hands, arms, neck, and appeared to have additional sharp force trauma injuries to her back. Evident by the holes in her shirt, the immediate vicinity, crime scene technician Marilyn Butts located a gold-toned ring, a cell phone later identified as Tristyn's cell phone, a $20 bill, and a pink vape device.
Sorry, all of that was really, it was, my dots were weird. My dots.
No, you're fine.
I copy and paste.
DST Butts, which is the crime scene technician, advised she located a possible shoe impression within the wooded area, as well as a Powerade bottle near the pond. CST Butts advised she did not locate any other items of possible evidentiary value, nor did she observe any suspicious circumstances around the scene. She was officially pronounced dead at 6:15 p.m., yet they still don't know the extent of her injuries. It had been 9 hours since Tristyn was reported missing. Thankfully, the police did an absolutely amazing job at keeping the Bailey family updated. They never wanted them to find out any information through the media. The Baileys were holding out so much hope, but unfortunately their worst nightmare was about to become their reality. The police, joined by a victim's advocate, went to tell the Baileys about their discovery. They also told all the volunteers that were helping that the search was over, so they knew even without any further details. Also, don't forget that Brittany, the oldest Bailey child, was on her honeymoon. She said that my dad had FaceTimed me and gave me a single nod of confirmation that the body they had found, in fact, was Tristyn's. She goes on to say that her husband was walking down the hallway of the MGM hotel they were staying at in Vegas, and he heard her shriek as soon as she got that confirmation and came running back to their hotel room. They ended their honeymoon early and boarded a red-eye to come home and be with their family. As heartbreaking as that is, we have to get into the next steps here. What the fuck actually happened to Tristyn? Here's how everything unfolded. Aiden was still detained at this time and was still being questioned by police. However, the police received an email with some videos in it. Some Snapchats, to be exact. These Snapchats were taken while Tristyn was still missing in the back of a police cruiser by none other than Aiden Huji himself. There's 2 pictures and 2 very short videos, and we are going to play those for you now because I think this was the part where the nation began watching. These 2 Snapchats and videos, we remember the body cam footage of the house. And I think that came after, the body cam with Aiden, but, this, I remember when this came out. I was like, there's no way. The Snapchat.
It's just so crass.
It was. We just couldn't believe the audacity, like you said, the crassness of it, just...
That's why we don't get big pockets in our pants. That's why we don't have as much audacity as men.
Yes. Yeah. Take their pockets away in their pants.
I agree.
So,
go watch this really quick. We'll be right back.
We're having fun in a f***ing cop car.
Yep. Tristyn.
What's up, guys?
Yep.
Tristyn, if you f***ing walk out the damn...
When you see this in a month...
It's in a f***ing cop car, guys. She's tripping, dude.
That's just a lot more than just being a teenager. That is just
a
total...
douche?
Yeah, that's just total disregard for life or Tristyn or her family, and just how he thought that was okay to sit in that car and make those videos. Where are you, Tristyn? When you already know. It's just sick and twisted.
So, one of the photos, because there was 2 of them, which you just saw, or we're putting them now. We're putting them up now.
So now the pictures.
So one of the pictures was just a reflection of him making a peace sign in the car. And the other was an all black background with a text banner on it that read, "Hey guys, has anyone seen Tristyn lately?" Someone actually responded to that and said, "You were with her, Aiden. You know what happened to her. Snaps.
Just snaps. Like, this is the part of teenagers having audacity that I enjoy, is the ones who do snap back and the ones who do have something to say, and they do it.
Yeah.
But these pictures and videos were just, oh my God.
So, fun fact. Florida law enforcement can actually record anyone during an investigation and are not legally required to tell them that they're being recorded. That's fun.
That's cool.
That's super cool. Most interrogation rooms are recording anytime someone's in there, like regardless. So, be smart. However, Aiden is at the police station, and his parents show up and are sitting there talking to him in this interrogation room, being recorded. They were talking to him and telling him that her body was found, and anything he says is going to affect him. When they tell him that she was dead, he says, "How is that my problem?" Just take a second with that. Go for it.
How is this your... Oh my God.
How is that my problem?
I love it when teenagers think they're being the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. So, again, you were like the last person seen with her, my dude. But, okay.
But it's fine.
Then they were telling him that he was all over social media because of his Snapchat. And like his dad was clearly upset and like crying at one point. Like I feel for his dad for sure.
His dad is about the only one that I feel for in that family and all of this.
Yes, I agree. He just wanted to know like what really happened. Aiden did tell them that he kissed, but that was it. Like that's all. That's all that happened.
So we went from her grabbing his dick and him pushing her off to now they kissed.
So,
How many cases in a row is this now that... Oh, we just kissed. But that's it.
2 for sure.
Yeah.
No. Sam said we had sex, we didn't
Oh,
kiss.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
So, a little different there because that's so much better.
Yeah.
However, so I didn't put this in here, but his dad specifically was like, did something happen? Did something sexual happen between you two? And he was like, we kissed. And his dad was like, oh, so your DNA is going to be on her.
That's a really weird thing to say.
Yeah. So, sus. A little sus.
Little sus.
Yes. There was, you know what?
The tiny
Just keep
bit.
reading. Let me keep reading, and then we'll talk
reading.
about this, okay?
Okay.
So, his mom at one point asked him, what clothes were you wearing? Khakis or blue jeans? He responds, blue jeans. She goes, are you sure it wasn't khakis? He says, yeah, it was blue jeans. She pauses for a minute and goes, actually, in the video, it was khakis. Like, what a weird argument to have in that moment.
And like, can we just say that mom gets the like award for worst actor ever
Bro.
for everything? Like, and it just gets worse.
Yeah. Like,
Homegirl, you're being recorded. Can everyone please remember you're being recorded when you're at a police station, no matter what room you're in. Interrogation, victim, you're being recorded.
so there's
And
actually
they hear it all. No matter how little you whisper, they hear it.
Yeah. There was actually a lot of shit that happened in that
I love watching those videos. Every time they come up on TikTok or Facebook, I always
know.
watch, even if I've seen it before.
Yes. We're going to link it below. Please go watch it because
Oh yeah, watch the whole thing.
one, she's trying to coach him, like coerce him in a way.
And not even like discreetly.
But at one point, she was like, it was actually khakis. And then she tries to whisper, because of the blood.
Yeah.
And then the whole DNA thing, an officer came in and was like, hey, by the way, we're taking his DNA. We're going to check his, like, take pictures and check his hands, check his nails, things like that. And his mom was like, hey, make sure you scrub under your nails really good. Bitch.
Yeah. These are conversations she needed to be having with him other times.
those aren't conversations you should have with your child at all.
Yeah, no.
If they are
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, at this point, we're already in this. I feel like she should have talked to him about this before we ended up at the police station, not in it.
We don't need parents coaching.
But
on
I'm
how
so
to
happy
get
that
away
she did
with-
it in it.
I
I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying that she should have. I'm happy she didn't because we have it on recording.
okay. So, during all of this though, he was sitting there very emotionless and he was just like bouncing his knee. God, I hate that I just did that.
Anxiety.
It was very interesting to say the least, especially after you hear what happened later. But we're going to tell you about that in a minute. But again, you can watch the video. It's going to be linked below in the notes. I do also suggest reading the incident report, which we will also have linked, because it goes pretty in depth about the conversation that just happened. And that conversation is on pages 9 through 12. You're welcome. Police started going to all of the houses and buildings on the route that Aiden took them on and started asking for any security footage that they may have had. Some footage you see, or that they saw, was from the Durban Amenity Center, where some people had stated that's where she was last seen. Then there was some footage from houses in the neighborhood, but the main footage that we see is from one of the homes near the cul-de-sac that she was found around 1:45 a.m. I'm really sorry to just listeners out there. There's going to be a quick video that we're going to play like while we're chatting here, but there's no audio, so like, sorry. Just go watch the YouTube video, okay?
But
However,
we're also going to describe it
yes, I'm describing it now
while we play it.
while we play it.
Perfect.
Playing it now. You can hear some like muffled female laughs or like words, but like that's it. So you can't really hear it unless you like really, really listen.
Yeah.
So now play the video. Okay. You can see Tristyn and Aiden walking down the sidewalk towards the area where Tristyn was found. They aren't walking very fast and seem to be having like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like they were just like purposely heading to the pond just based off the like kind of pep in their step.
Yeah.
And the quality is not like the best, but you can see her vaping and you can also see the white Nike shoes that Aiden was wearing. Please keep those shoes in mind.
Yes. So the next video, there's a lot of video and audio clips for this episode because we have them.
There's a lot. Modern day.
So, yay! So this next video is from the same camera, but at about 3:27 a.m. of Aiden running away from the cul-de-sac. However, in this video, you can see that he is carrying his Nikes in his hand. Now that the police had seen this, they obtained a search warrant for his house.
Mm-hmm.
He had a dresser pushed up against the wall in his closet. And when it was moved, they found a knife sheath to a buck knife, and there's a pile of clothes between the dresser and the wall. They found white Nikes at the bottom of that pile, and they were very wet. They also found a piece of paper that was near the shoes as well. They also collected blue jeans and a white t-shirt that he was seen wearing on the security footage from the night before. Yes, I said blue jeans, not khakis.
But it was khakis on the video.
They swabbed a sink and removed a drain to also be tested for blood. All of these items were tested for blood on scene, and they were confirmed positive for the presence of blood. With all of this evidence, the police were able to arrest Aiden Fucci, and he was charged with second-degree murder of Tristyn Bailey. At 3:45 a.m., police went to the Bailey's house to tell them that they had arrested Aiden.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to put this in there, but Forrest Bailey said they knew we were awake. They knew we were.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sleep either.
Absolutely not. I feel like I should put this out there too because I did so much digging on this and have listened to so many podcasts on this case, and no one ever actually states what happens with Trey.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed in a lot of things that I've listened or read or on this is
Yeah.
that he gets mentioned in the beginning part with
And
like
that's
that evening, and then that's it. Nothing really ever gets mentioned with him again. So I am actually glad that you dug on this and are going to talk about him.
Yes. There's also a little bit more later, but I just am touching on this part for now, okay? So Trey was in custody of the police for a while. Like they had him in interrogation rooms. He was also the other boy in Aiden's Snapchat video that was like blurred out. So they searched his home and did multiple interviews, not only with him, but with his father as well. They collected clothing, brass knuckles, and some shoes from his room. After they found everything in Aiden's home, they ultimately was like, we need to let Trey go. I don't think he was actually involved. And I understand he wasn't necessarily involved, but I felt like you guys deserve to know that he was part of this like deeply part of this investigation. The interview with his father is in the incident report and it has some really good information on it, but I'm going to touch on his interviews later, on Trey's interviews. If you read the incident report though, Trey and his dad have the same name. Trey is the third.
Okay.
So I got confused a couple of times, so just make sure you're really paying attention if you read it, okay? So, as the police were going through all of the evidence that they collected from the Fushi household, it's also the Smith household,
Okay.
from his house, okay? They stumbled across some security footage that was from the inside of the house. Y'all,
It's so good.
when we tell you that we love dumb criminals, we ain't lying. I literally live for this shit.
I love it. Love me a good dumb criminal.
Yeah, so in this footage, you can see blue jeans being picked up, taken into a bathroom, and being scrubbed. They're also taken downstairs and put into a laundry room. This is all caught on camera, and you're probably sitting there like, yeah, I think we established this already, right? Well, it was his mama. It was his fucking mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever we all found out that his mom was caught on camera cleaning his jeans, oh, we all lost it.
Her name is Crystal, by the way. She's brought up a few more
Of
times.
course, her name's named Crystal.
Bro, what is it with crystals?
What is with crystals?
That's like what, the third one so far?
Yes.
This is the second Crystal helping clean up a crime scene, though.
It is.
To be fair, she didn't drive to Lars to do it, but she
Thank
didn't have to.
God.
It's her own house.
Thank
Yeah.
God. So, okay, well, she definitely already knew that he did it. This also explains why she was trying to get him to say he was wearing khakis and not jeans.
Do you know what also like gets me about this is
Yeah.
that she knew she did this, but like instead of being like, "Oh, my cameras just didn't record," she let the police gather the evidence.
Yeah. Maybe she didn't think they were going to look for, like, during the daytime stuff and only look for when he was getting home.
Let's go back to that dumb criminal part.
Yes, I don't
understand, but
I don't remember if I put this in later or not, but like she did this, like the blue jeans part of it, the first time the police came to the house to talk to him.
yeah, like that's what she went
That's why
inside.
she left.
That's what she went inside to do while he was talking to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
idiot.
crazy.
Also,
She already knew.
Yeah, she
yeah,
already
She
knew.
fucking knew.
She already
She
knew.
fucking knew. Actually, I do believe I bring this up because there's video of it later. So we're gonna move on. Okay. So she was arrested and charged with tampering with evidence, which is a third-degree felony in Florida. She pled not guilty and was released on a $25,000 bond. Then she entered a no contest plea. Judge Arlie Smith sentenced her to the agreed upon 5 years of probation under the conditions she serves 30 days in jail. She was credited for 1 day that she had already served and can apply for early probation termination after 3 years. She was facing up to 5 years in prison though. So like, of course she took that plea deal.
Like, I really need parents to quit helping their kids cover up
Bro.
crimes. Just,
Like, I understand.
this is your last chance to be a good parent. Turn them into the cops.
Like, I understand. The thing is, though, like, she didn't know the extent, the brutality of what happened, because y'all don't even know this yet. But your son still had blood on his pants, and a girl's missing.
Like, as a parent, how can you just let another parent wonder where their kid is when you might have an idea of it?
Absolutely.
We'll get into it.
Yes. If you haven't guessed it already, they did test the clothing and his shoes for blood, and it was confirmed to be Tristyn Bailey's DNA on all of it.
So now I need y'all to sit really, really tight for this.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to read Tristyn's wounds to you directly from the post-mortem exam. Tristyn was coming out of rigor mortis and appeared to have skin slippage. Based on these conditions, Dr. Bulick
I think so.
estimated Tristyn's time of death was consistent with occurring between 1:45 and 3:30 a.m. on May 10th, 2024. 2021.
It's wrong, by the way, because this happened on May 9th.
Well, she left on May 9th. It was May 10th wasn't that Mother's Day? The day of. She left on the 9th and was the next morning.
May 9th was Mother's Day.
No.
So I think this was wrong, because all this happened on May 9th. I meant to put a note in there, but this came directly from that exam.
Okay. Then we'll leave one what they have exactly have, but we have everything on the 9th.
Yeah.
Typos happen.
So just keep that in mind.
Tristyn appeared to have handprints on her upper left inner and outer thigh, and her left calf, and her right calf, upper right thigh. The handprint on Tristyn's upper left thigh appeared consistent with a right hand, and based on the pattern of the handprint, it was determined it would not have been her own hand. Dr. Bulick found 3 stab wounds, which penetrated Tristyn's left chest cavity and punctured her left lung 3 times. Additionally, Dr. Bulick found 1 stab wound, which punctured her right chest cavity and her right lung once. Dr. Bulick estimated the cutting instrument to be a single-edged blade, approximately 4 inches in length. X-rays of Tristyn's body indicated a possible metallic fragment on the top of Tristyn's skull, which was not initially recovered during autopsy. Dr. Bulick advised his detailed report would be available at a later date. However, he confidently stated Tristyn's cause and manner of death would be listed as homicide due to sharp force trauma. Her autopsy states that she was stabbed 35 times on her head and neck, and other stab wounds to her torso, chest, back, and upper extremities. The word karma was also handwritten in blue ink inside her left ankle, and a smiley face was drawn inside her right ankle. It was not determined who wrote this on her or if it was pre or post-mortem. State Attorney for the 7th Circuit, R.J. Larissa,
I think so.
talked about the killing at a press conference and stated this: at least 49 of those stab wounds were to the hands, arms, and the head. They were defensive in nature. Our girl fought, you guys.
Yeah, she did.
She fought. There were divers that spent days searching the ponds in the area that she was found, trying to find any evidence they could. Here's a quick clip from one of the news channels, First Coast News. You can also get a better visual of the type of area she was found in. They ended up finding a knife with the tip of the blade missing. They surprisingly were also able to get blood off of this knife that was submerged in the pond, and they did test it, and it was confirmed to be Tristyn Bailey's DNA.
The police went to tell the Bailey family what information they learned from the autopsy. The police only wanted to tell her parents, though, so they went into a completely separate room. Brittany says that she could hear her mother screaming so loud, and she just didn't know how to respond to hearing that, so she went into the bathroom and completely destroyed it. Her dad came in and told her, "Be brave for your mom." They finally decided to tell the rest of the siblings what happened. They told them that altogether, she was stabbed a total of 114 times.
Which is...
That's extreme.
I mean, that's extreme. And
Yeah.
over 30 of those were defensive wounds, right? 49
49.
of those were defensive wounds. Like,
So almost half of them.
oh, yeah, almost half of them were defensive wounds. And that's just
Yeah.
extreme overkill. And
Yeah.
for a 15-year-old, 14-year-old,
14-year-old.
14 years old to have
Eighth
that
grader.
much. 8th grader. That takes a lot of energy. It's a lot of rage.
Absolutely. And Brittany even said that when she was told that, she just collapsed on the ground. And one of the police officers that was there got on the ground with her and just like prayed for her.
And she said that it was just an absolute moment that like helped her so much through that. But I just couldn't imagine being the oldest and finding out that you just couldn't
youngest
protect your baby, the baby,
Yeah.
like as an oldest sibling.
I can only imagine like whatever survivor guilt she might have too, considering she wasn't even there when it happened.
Wasn't even home and was on
She
her
was-
honeymoon, enjoying
It was
herself.
one of the
and
happiest moments. Oh, I couldn't
But-
imagine.
I'm so thankful for officers like that who
Same.
just go above and beyond and just care and are the definition of the job.
Absolutely. The Baileys held a funeral for her, and hundreds of people came out to celebrate her life. Many even came up to the family and would tell them stories of how Tristyn was so kind and helpful to them, even if it was just the smallest thing. She truly did impact so many people's lives in her short 13 years of life.
And I do want to note, for her funeral and for trial later on, everyone showed out in aqua for our girl.
Yep.
Because it was her favorite color and everybody wanted to show up in it.
Yep.
So we tried to show up in a little bit of aqua for our girl too. For those of you just listening, I got me some aqua nails because that's what a bunch of the cheerleaders did, was they did aqua nails to support her for both places. And so we just wanted to give a little bit
It's
of
not awkward, but it's
Tristyn
pretty
in our
close.
episode.
Yes,
So
absolutely. During the investigation, there was another person who the police spoke to. I'm going to say her name a lot, and I'm really sorry.
and she's not saying it wrong.
I'm not saying it wrong.
Just so y'all know, because I had to ask, like,
Yeah.
is this her name?
They spoke to 14-year-old Sophie Bauman. Sophie. Okay.
It's a cute name. I like
It's
it.
very cute. It reminds me of like Halloween Town. Soapy?
Soapy. I was gonna go Sesame Street with, you know, the little character Zoe because she has the blonde hair and she's like pink. Like, I just,
Go.
yeah,
I know.
that like whole like vibe, you know?
I get it. So, Sophie was identified as Aiden's girlfriend.
Wait, Aiden had a girlfriend?
Aiden had a girlfriend. I know. She had an almost 40-minute interview with police, and oh boy, did a lot come out of it. We are going to play you some audio clips, and you're welcome, listeners.
It's y'all's fault for telling us you like this in the beginning.
That's not what I was going to say, but damn. Jeez,
We just have so many video clips in this.
we do have a lot of video clips, but this one is strictly audio. So,
Oh, this one's just for you listeners. That's where you're going with that.
yeah, so you don't have to come watch the YouTube video, but you should anyway. But she is pretty soft-spoken, so you may need to like listen pretty close.
Crank that.
Also, our producer's probably going to do some magic, so like be careful at this.
Maybe don't
know what I'm
crank
saying?
that then.
Maybe
Yeah.
wait and see how much you need to crank it. I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
I believe in you. So enjoy this.
And I think I cut you off. You were saying he called it something.
He called one picker, and then he called that one poker.
Okay. Did Aiden ever discuss anything to you that would make you think he wanted to try to use a knife on somebody or anything like that?
Aiden talked about killing people a lot.
He did.
Yeah. But Aiden and I had a dark sense of humor, and I never took him seriously.
Right.
He talked about wanting to kill me. Sometimes he would take his knife and pretend to stab me with it. Or sometimes he would come up behind me and put it against my throat and pretend to slit my throat, but I wasn't scared or anything. He never...
You trusted him.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he would also, like, freak out if he accidentally elbowed me and apologize and shit like that, so it's very just...
No, I understand.
I know that Aiden tried to cheat on me with Tristyn because him and I got in a fight, and he thought I cheated on him because I sent a picture of me next to one of my sister's guy friends. He was coming back from a party, so I guess he had alcohol in his system. He was freaking out.
Okay.
He got really mad.
When was that?
I don't know what month.
Not like within the last week. It's been a little while. Or?
It's been a while since that happened. But yeah, it never happened, and he never did anything with Tristyn that night, and he told Trey not to tell me.
He told Trey not to tell you what?
That he tried to cheat on me with her.
Okay, and how did you find out about that?
Trey told me when we went back in contact. He said, well, this is what was going to happen that night.
When you say that night, are you referring to Saturday night?
No, the night that him and I got in a fight.
Okay.
I know you guys just listened to a piece of it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more now, okay? In the interview, she does also state that he has anger issues and always had 2 knives on him.
Sorry, what 8th grader needs to have 2 knives on them all the time?
I don't know. He also named them.
What 8th grader needs to have a knife on them?
Okay,
Well,
well...
needs a knife in general.
Hold on. Time out. So...
Go on.
Okay. My dad used to get me, like, pocket knives and stuff when I was a kid, things, and I used to carry them around on me and everything, but, like, not during school and other stuff, like in the summertime and Girl Scouts, and, used to whittle with them. I don't know. I was a weird kid, guys, so it's not that strange. I mean, like, my nephew's had knives since he was, like, 4, but, like, redneck in West Virginia, hunting, fishing, loving every day. So, I mean, there are instances that's not super weird, but an 8th grader that names his knives, that's weird.
Yeah, that's a little bit extreme.
It's a little bit creepy. So I am saying that it's not, like, completely out of the realm, but...
I'm pretty sure that he named them... what was it? Poker and Pincher or something like that.
That sounds oddly familiar. It's fine. We can...
It's in the incident report. A lot. It's in there a couple of times. But he named them, like...
You say he named them really weird names.
It was something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, he named them. Gross. So, here are some other very interesting and damning things that were said. I'm going to read these straight from the incident report. That's why I say her name so much. It's a lot, but it also explains so much, especially with some of the information that we've already given you.
But also, snaps for Zophie.
Hell yeah.
For
Zophie
giving
don't give
all
a fuck.
this info out here. She don't give a fuck. She was raised right.
Zophie advised Aiden. I'm going to say advice a lot. That's basically just saying that Aiden said something, okay? So, Aiden talked about killing people frequently and even made previous statements about wanting to kill her. Zophie advised she had a conversation with Aiden within the last month on the roof of her house, during which Aiden advised he was going to murder someone. Zophie advised Aiden stated the murder was going to be planned. He would find a random person walking at night, drag them into the woods, and stab them. Yeah. Zophie advised Aiden stated this murder was going to happen soon, and she should expect it within the month. Zophie advised Aiden stated that he would act innocent after the murder and continue killing people. Zophie advised Aiden would then run away, make people believe he was dead, and continue killing people.
Oh, we were going to try to be a little serial killer.
Zophie advised Aiden previously told her about the pond he would go to smoke weed. However, Zophie had never been there. Zophie appeared to describe the area where Tristyn's deceased body was later recovered. Zophie advised Aiden would hide things, behind the dresser in his closet if he did not want his parents to find them. Sophie advised Aiden would draw graphic pictures depicting mutilated bodies. Sophie advised Aiden claimed to hear voices in his head when he was angry. The voices would tell him he was worthless and a disappointment, and the voices would tell him to kill people when he was angry. Sophie stated Aiden knew something was wrong with him, and he wanted to reach out for help.
There's just so much to unpack in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I feel like we have so many of these stories where people say things like this, where we hear stuff like that, and like, I see it being hard to take that seriously.
Yeah.
But I feel like we listed one too many points that would freak you out after a minute. Like, at one point, this no longer is like an offhand comment. This is a full-blown murder plot.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, so the clip of the video you guys watched also stated that he pretended to stab her and threatened to slit her throat. You're 14. Why the fuck do you have this type of relationship with someone? Like, I don't care if you think you're joking or have a dark sense of humor. At 14, bitch, I have a dark sense of humor, and I don't threaten or pretend to stab people.
Yeah, and just the other part of it is, like, if your friends are joking around like this, and, like, an offhand comment once isn't huge alarm, stay on edge. But a full-blown, detailed murder plot and things, that should definitely be reported. Even if it turns out to be nothing, all you did was lose a creep of a friend.
Yeah.
And awareness is brought to it. So we're not blaming Sophie for anything, but just use this as another part of this is we tell these stories so that things like this don't happen again. This is just another learning point to help teach kids that no matter how small you think it is, tell somebody.
Absolutely.
Because even if it turns out to be nothing, you know,
may have
it's
helped
fine.
someone,
You
though.
could have saved somebody.
Yeah.
So
even that person who said these things to you, maybe they were having those thoughts.
And they do.
And they finally get help.
Yes.
Because they didn't know how else to reach out to someone. Something I did forget to mention in this, though, was that she did state that he had a lot of problems at home with his parents. So.
Yes.
Unfortunately, typical serial killer
tendencies.
Yeah.
Yes. So the interview.
Full trifecta?
Huh?
Do we have the full trifecta?
I don't know about the abuse part of it, but all I know is that he had a rough home life.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I don't know if we got far enough with him to find the full trifecta.
That's true. He was also, like, there was also no information of him mutilating, like, animals.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but just drawing mutilated bodies. And so I don't know if that may have been, like, a correlation or not.
Okay.
Or also things that mommy probably won't release or say.
Yeah, but we, again, never got far enough. He did talk to a psychologist and get things out there, but we'll touch on that in a minute.
Yep.
Okay.
So the interview with Trey was pretty similar to Sophie's, except the cheating part. And he also had an attorney there for his interview. He did confirm that Aiden talked about wanting to kill people often and carried knives on him. Trey said Aiden wanted to move in on Tristyn, but he had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. But during the interview, he mentioned how much Aiden spoke about wanting to kill someone and slit their throat and watch them bleed out. Like, it was a lot. And we have linked that video in our notes if you want to listen to all of that. We're not going to play it.
No.
But we've got it linked in there. Once again, if your friend is really obsessed with killing somebody and just wants to kill someone, even mentions a name.
That's also two separate people who are in his life frequently that did nothing.
Yeah, and I understand we're dealing with teenagers, and there's a lot to it, and just thinking your friends are joking. But there was a lot of warning signs. With this information coming out to the public, Larissa also announced that Aiden's charges were being upgraded from second degree to premeditated first degree. And he will be tried as an adult. If they decided to not try him as an adult, then he would have only served 7 years and would have been free and out on the streets by the age of 21.
That's scary.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
He actually had his original attorney quit.
I know I wrote LOL on there because I didn't know what else. I was just like,
Does it say why?
he does not say why, but he was just like,
Yeah, probably all that evidence went, nope.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, just judging by the couple of Snapchats, I can't imagine Aiden is a joy to work with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this next part is going to go a little quick, but stick with us here, okay? On June 3rd, he pleaded not guilty. So let's get ready for trial, folks.
All right.
They
I'm
released
ready.
the witness list, and it had 154 names on it. Holy smoke, y'all.
That's a lot, dude. That's
Like,
a lot of witnesses.
That's a lot of witnesses.
Yeah.
For something that happened in such a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a bit, and he had a virtual hearing in September of 2021 where he was sitting there staring at the ceiling or looking around the empty room and was mumbling and whispering things about demons. And there's a video of it, y'all. Let's play this video for you because it's something.
We'll play the beginning of it because the rest of it is just
Boring.
dumb.
Okay.
What you got going on? I don't let you demons. I don't let you demons take my soul. You demons want to take my soul away. I don't let you demons steal my soul. I don't know what's going on. What I see you. What's going on? What you got going on? Why am I here? I just want to talk to my mom and dad. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
I like how his whole tactic there was to look around like a moth was flying around the light. That's what I really feel the whole tactic was in there.
Dude, I can't. That hurt my back.
And then the super coherent, I want my mom and dad.
What am I doing here? Sir,
You know what you're
you're
doing
not
there.
getting a daytime Emmy for that.
You're not getting anything for that.
Absolutely not.
There were also reports of Aiden having books where he would draw satanic symbols and pictures of mutilated women prior to the murder. Like, okay, dude.
Okay.
So now his defense team might stand a chance for an insanity plea or a not responsible plea.
Yeah.
And that's wild. Like, I could not imagine having to deal with that possibility now.
I couldn't imagine, dude.
And when prosecution saw that this could now be a possibility of an insanity plea, they decided to pull the calls right before this hearing and right after this.
Yeah.
Between him and his mom, and during these calls, he was completely fine. Completely coherent, nothing about demons or seeing anything that wasn't there, hearing voices, nothing. He was totally fine. So the prosecution was ready to use that against him at trial.
I'm pretty sure he was like, oh, hey, Mom, I have to go to this hearing. I'll be right back. I'll call you right back.
Yeah.
Goes,
like,
does this,
Mhm.
and then gets back on the phone with her. Hey, it went so great. Like,
Teenagers.
totally fine again. Fuck.
teenagers.
What if his mom told him to do that?
I
I'm
bet
just kidding.
she
They probably
did.
would have said that, and then they probably
They
would
have
have
heard
that
of
up.
phone conversations. Another thing, I love when people talk in like prison calls like they're not recorded.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I can't.
So, his defense team also filed a motion to get him out of solitary confinement around this time. So, I mean, maybe he's just lonely.
He was in solitary confinement.
I mean, maybe
He
he was
needed a
lonely.
fan.
He needed to make up some friends to talk to. So, they removed him from solitary and put him in Gen Pop, which, I mean, that sounds more fun for all of us.
I agree.
Not only did the defense file that motion, but they also filed for the trial to be pushed at least 3 separate times. And they filed for it to be moved to a completely different county due to the publicity the case had seen. And the state filed a motion for there to only be a 6-person jury instead of 12. And it was granted, which I enjoy.
Same.
Do you know what the reason was for that?
I have no idea, actually. They didn't actually state why, but I wonder if it was maybe because of the publicity.
So that they could get
that they-
easier jury together?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Because, like, with how big this fucking was.
Oh, yeah, with the Snapchats and the mom lying and everything else by this point.
Social post from the Baileys.
Yeah, like...
There's no
so-
way people... I heard about it. We live all the way in fucking Colorado.
Yeah, and we were
Other
following
side of the
it.
country,
We were
man.
following this. So the trial was set for late February of 2023.
Hell yeah. January of 2023 came around, and there were actually multiple reports of Aiden getting into multiple altercations, including fights with other inmates and threatening to kill the officers there and their families.
What? Not little Aiden.
Not
He's so
Aiden.
sweet and innocent in his khakis.
Oh my gosh. But can you imagine a 14-year-old trying to fight fucking inmates in Gen Pop?
Murdered? Murdered who? I've known him for 2 weeks. He would never murder anyone.
What murder? What the
Gosh, I would
fuck,
just love to
though?
watch a little 14-year-old just up against, like, hard-ass
I would love to see
felons.
that.
Just
Maybe. Nope, I'm not saying that. Never mind.
Okay.
Moving on.
continue. Sorry.
So, February 1st of 2023 comes around. The defense requested for the trial to be pushed again, but it got denied by the judge.
Woot woot.
Woot, woot. February 5th of 2023, jury selection is set to be picked that day. Aiden Fushi, however, pleads guilty to first-degree murder of Tristyn Bailey.
I think someone got a little scared.
Probably. But, like, are you fucking kidding me? The morning of the jury selection, like, you let it get that fucking close. Imagine being his defense team and, like, doing all of these motions and going
All
through
of this work.
Yeah, and going through all of this evidence and everything just for him to plead out. I mean, like, yay for them. They don't have to suffer through that fucking trial anymore, but I would be so mad.
And the next part we're going to tell you is going to make you understand why we're so pissed about him pleading guilty
Absolutely.
the morning of jury selection.
Absolutely. So, again, usually it's a good thing for the family. In this case, I feel like it was a good thing just because of the plea that he took.
Just a little bit too late.
Yes. Yes. Okay. But usually the family then doesn't have to go through trial and the trauma and the details all over again. They did actually state, I think Brittany stated that they were at every single hearing.
They were.
And they had a group of them.
And usually trial re-traumatizes these families.
Absolutely.
Now, yes, we are always so happy to be getting justice and doing all this, but the toll that these kind of trials take on these families is insane.
Yeah. And also, who knows, like, how the defense would have tried to twist things and, like, portray Tristyn during this.
Yes, and
like, it could have been bad.
It could have been bad.
It could have been real bad. I honestly have no doubt in my mind that they would have done that. The prosecution, though, didn't want the Baileys to hear anything for the first time in court. They sat them down and went through every single piece of evidence, videos, pictures, autopsy, literally everything. They spent days, and now they will not get their day in court with him. Well,
they will, but not the way
Not
they thought
the
it
way
would
they
be.
expected.
And it was just traumatizing for the family to have to
Yeah.
go through all of that, even though they didn't have to in the end, and to hear every single detail. And so we're happy that he pled guilty and they didn't have to go through the trial, but they had already kind of gone through a mini one
yeah.
to prepare for it. And
I know I personally have never been in this situation, but I feel like if I ever was, I think I would want to see all of it, though. Even if it didn't go to trial, I would want to know.
I would too. I just wish they wouldn't have had to do it all, as in depth and as detailed
Like-
as they had to go to
Like,
prepare for trial.
thinking it wasn't willingly, you know?
Yes.
That's what, yeah, I get it. But they were not completely out of the woods yet. He still had to have a sentencing hearing. So I know you're probably sitting there wondering why he's getting a sentencing hearing, because he took a plea deal, but he actually took what's called an open plea deal. And that essentially means that, yes, he's pleading guilty, but the judge still has to pass down a sentence since he's a juvenile. Whatever. The defense filed another motion. They
They
weren't
just
done.
love motions.
They didn't have a choice, man.
I know.
They filed another motion to keep all of the crimes that was happening, like with him in jail, off of the table for this specific plea. And the judge basically was just like, we'll see. We'll see.
Snaps for the judge.
Yeah. Prosecution then had to paint a picture of who Aiden truly was. They played all of the Snapchat videos and almost all of the evidence that they did have to, not all of it, but they did talk about her autopsy and everything that he did to her. They did also have a psychologist come in and speak about his unusual behavior with his girlfriend, which is super unusual.
And I'm really glad that they still love. I love that we've seen this in another case, Skylar Niece, where when there wasn't a trial, all the families get to speak at sentencing, and prosecution still likes to lay out evidence and everything else that they had.
Yeah.
And so I do still enjoy getting a sentencing when we don't have a trial, because you still get to find out a lot of things.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like the judge needs to know what the fuck happened.
And it also gives the victims' families a chance to speak
Absolutely.
as well. And
Yeah,
I still like that this still gives them their moment.
Yeah. I also wanted to say this a little bit earlier, and I don't know why I didn't, but Sophie is no longer with Aiden.
Good.
Would hope so.
Yeah. And I truly hope she has gotten the help she personally needs, because I hope she doesn't get back into that type of narcissistic, fucked up relationship. With her being so young, I'm hoping she grows and learned from that.
Oh, yes.
So,
And, snaps for 14-year-old parents not letting them date boys in prison.
absolutely. Thankfully, families do get the option to speak and give impact statements at these type of things. So every single one of the Baileys took the stand, as well as Tristyn's grandmother, which is awesome. So 7 of them, 7 Baileys were up on that stand.
And this is probably my favorite part of Tristyn's story.
That's fucked.
No, is her sentencing and her family at her sentencing, because they are so powerful and they are so much for Tristyn and being there and coming together and just fighting for her still and being her voice when she can't.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably like this is the most powerful sentencing that I have
absolutely.
ever watched in any case ever. That's why I say it is my
I
favorite part
wouldn't
of her
say
story.
sentencing, because we've seen some powerful sentencings. But this was probably the most powerful impact statement
Yes.
I've ever seen.
Yes. I didn't mean it in like my favorite part of her stories, just how much of a voice everyone.
I get it. I get what you're saying. So, Alexis Bailey, who is the second oldest, was the very first one to take the stand and speak. Basically, the entire time she's on the stand, she is staring down Aiden. And I understand, like, this video seems super long already, but you have to hear this. You need to see this. I can't explain this to you. We want you to feel exactly what we felt in that moment the second we saw it. So,
Watch this.
My name is Alexis Bailey. I'm Tristyn's second oldest sister.
And just so the court's aware, if you would just tell the court the order of the siblings.
So my oldest sister is Brittany Bailey. Again, I'm Alexis Bailey. I'm the second oldest sister, followed by my brother Tegan Bailey, Sophia Bailey, and then Tristyn was the youngest of the family.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
$114. Of course. This jar now holds 114 stones, one for each of the 114 stab wounds that my sister had to endure. It was 1 hour and 42 minutes between when my sister was last seen and when Aiden Fucci was next seen, running out of the woods holding his shoes because his feet hurt. It's funny that such a simple statement can bring such anger. Aiden Fucci could show compassion for his sore feet, yet had nothing to leave for my beautiful sister. The number of questions I have for Aiden Fucci surrounding that night plague my mind. Did she see you coming at her with the knife? Or did you stab her while she wasn't paying attention? Did she scream out for help? Or was she paralyzed with agony? Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs? What were her last words? Did you stay to watch her die? Or did you leave her there in agonizing pain as you ran away? How long did she suffer? Did you watch the life leave her eyes? Do you know the answer to any of these questions, or were you too caught up in the thrill of the kill? Lastly, I would like to add my own stone to the 114 that I added for Tristyn. This white stone represents my trust in people, which died the day that Aiden Fucci chose to kill my sister.
I add this stone for the hope and belief I had in people being good that died the day that Aiden Fucci murdered my sister.
This white stone represents my loss in faith in our school systems to keep violent children away from the innocent.
Okay, so as you just saw, every sibling put a stone into the jar. Every one of the Baileys did this at the end of their statements. And we have posted the links to the videos in our show notes. Please go watch them in their entirety.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And the Baileys then asked for the judge to impose the maximum punishment available. Stacy said, please consider everything he has done to our family. He is beyond saving.
Mm-hmm.
Florida's first. What?
Really quick, I meant to put this in there also. But Stacy and Forrest also went to Crystal's hearing or her sentencing, and she spoke there too. And that'll be linked below. I thought I had that in here. I'm sorry.
In Florida, first-degree murder is an automatic life sentence or the death penalty. But you can't use the death penalty for juveniles, even if they are being tried in adult court.
Sucks.
It does suck. So Judge Smith sentenced Aiden Fucci to life in prison for the murder of Tristyn Bailey. Unfortunately, since he is still considered a juvenile, he could possibly get parole. He will be granted an automatic review hearing after 25 years. So the next step is to make sure all the evidence is presented in a way that in 25 years his actions can't be chalked up to being 14 years old. A few things happened after all of this.
Oh, really quick. We'll also have, because they have video of his sentencing, like of him being sentenced. We'll also have that below. But he just sat there.
Yeah. Just sits there. Just stares. So, a few things happened after all of this. Tristyn's cheermates, they hold vigils for her. And the Tristyn Bailey Foundation was founded. Through this website, you can find help for the following: character development, victim advocacy, self-defense and self-confidence, education on the dangers of social media. Tristyn was so dedicated to helping others that they wanted to continue that legacy for her. And they also offer scholarships.
This is really cool. Did you go through that website at all?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's...
And we'll also have that linked in our resources page on the justiceforpodcast.com.
Yeah. I also forgot to put this in here. Man, my brain was jumbled while I was writing this. They still have the Tristyn Bailey Strong Facebook page.
Yes.
And it's still very, very active as well.
And we'll also have that linked as well.
You're going to have a lot of links.
You guys are going to have so many.
You have a lot
to go
of
through this
things
for this one.
do. You're welcome.
You are.
So, the Baileys also got a bill passed in Florida, and it's called the Bailey Act. This prohibits the release of crime scene photos in the case of a minor. Florida has a sunshine law where the press and public can request anything submitted into evidence during a court proceeding. The Bailey Act creates an exemption for any photos, videos, or autopsy of a minor. So they can't have any of them.
Which I think should automatically have already been a law in every state.
Yeah.
But
this also makes a lot of sense why nothing about Madison has come out.
Madeline?
Yeah.
Madeline Soto, yeah. All of the videos, all the pictures, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
this
so
law
much
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But
that also makes a lot of sense with how much trouble that police officer's getting in for accidentally releasing those pictures of her on Instagram.
Exactly. This makes so much
That's
sense.
so much more sense why that's like, I mean, like, obviously it should be treated with that level, but it was really, really, really illegal for him, not just frowned upon.
Yeah.
All right.
We're piecing things together.
We are. You guys just got to watch real-time revelations.
Before I get to this last part, I kind of want to chit-chat really quick with you about your thoughts
on
what happened. Because it's never actually come out what actually happened. Like the prosecution was probably gonna like do the whole this is what happened, lay out
like his motive and everything else like that, and they didn't have to do that.
All we have though is his like motive was just the thrill of a kill.
And honestly, that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he talked about wanting to kill somebody and wanting to do that and how he was going to do it and planning it and everything. I think it was just something that he obsessed over and he wanted to do. And he didn't care who it was. He just wanted to see what it was like. That's what I think. That's what I gather from what his ex-girlfriend said, what Trey was saying, and just kind of how he acted afterwards. He kind of stuck exactly to what Sophie said and did. I mean, very detailed. And so I I think they were right with that motive of just for the thrill. He wanted to see what it was like. I think that he was full-blown down the path of a full-blown psycho.
Yeah.
Path. Like,
what are your thoughts?
The thing that keeps sticking with me is the handprints on her thighs.
All over her body, but like her thighs.
You highlighted her thighs.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't maybe hear the rest of it, but
There's just a couple spots, but it was mostly her thighs, yeah.
just the way, like, just him holding her.
Yeah.
right.
Like, just the amount of force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think it was just a thrill kill?
I don't know. I definitely don't have enough to speak to it for sure.
Yeah.
But it may have turned into that. Like you mentioned, Trey said that he wanted to make a move on Tristyn, but he already had a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe he tried to make a move, she rejected him, and he decided, well, this is an opportunity.
That's where my brain is. So, with all of the evidence, with the fact that that's where he would go to smoke weed, they had a pep in their step. I bet fucking anything. They were on their way. He was probably like, let's go to my spot and smoke some weed. And he probably made a pass at her. She was like, no. No. Like, rejected him, and he got all pissed off because he has anger problems.
Yeah.
And probably, just like you said, was like, this is the opportunity. I'm a fucking killer. Or he maybe accidentally hurt her. It felt good. Wanted to keep going. Because 114 is excessive. That's a crime of passion.
That's a crime of passion.
That's a crime of passion.
Her turning down in advance because he, like, if you reverse the roles of that story, it makes a lot more sense the other way around.
Yeah.
Than it would of her grabbing him instead of him grabbing her.
Yes.
That's a much better reaction. So, yes, I think that's a combination. I think that he wanted to do it for a while, and Tristyn was his opportunity.
Yeah. So it's probably just like, other cases we had where he's giving bits of truth and honesty.
In everything that he says.
But in a twisted way.
Yeah. It's just, this is one of those ones that no matter how hard you try to make it make sense, it doesn't.
Yeah. But I'm just happy he's behind bars, dude.
I'm so happy he's behind bars as well.
I genuinely hope we're also still doing this in 23 more years.
Oh, yeah, so we can talk shit about whether or not he gets out?
Yeah.
Heard.
See what happens in 25 years. 23 years. 23 more years.
I'm going to need all of y'all to tell a friend
24.
to come
24 more years. It happened in 23.
Yeah. I'm going to need all of y'all to go tell a friend so we'd still be doing this in 23 years.
Do it. So, here's the last part. It's very impactful. So, of course, this is what I wanted to say for the end. Okay? After court was over, Forrest Bailey made a statement that said, quote, Tristyn, I wanted to let you know we are so extremely proud of the person you were in your time here. We have seen that when you went out into the world, you gave it your very best. You should be proud of the friend that you were, the teammate that you were, and what you left behind. And people that knew you, that we trust, will go forward and continue to make the world a better place. With respect to what you mean to our family, it's in our hearts. There are no words. We love you. We continue to hold you in our hearts, and we will always be the Bailey 7.
My heart just hurts for that whole family.
I know.
So, normally this is the point where we ask if we got justice.
Technically, yes. We got justice.
By the outlines of our episodes,
yes,
we usually say we got justice.
Yeah.
But Tristyn's siblings seem to feel a little bit differently about that. They recognize that Aiden was sentenced and is behind bars, but to them, justice will never truly be served because they don't have Tristyn anymore. So, for something that I never thought that we would say, I would have to agree. I don't think we fully have justice for Tristyn. We got a little bit, but not all of it.
If he dies in jail, then I think we might have better justice. Like Jeffrey Dahmer style.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for another really hard episode.
Yeah.
If we hope you enjoyed
all of that.
Yeah. Sorry.
We're still this
processing
one
a little bit. Yeah.
This one hits.
Yeah, this one hits. This one was really, we waited a little while to do this one because there's a lot to it, and
it's a lot.
We wanted to make sure that we did right.
Absolutely.
By Tristyn.
Absolutely. I really hope the Baileys are doing well. They're still together, which is very rare.
Yes.
For something like this to happen. The
For
siblings
families.
are still doing wonderful. The parents are still together. And they're still the Bailey 7. They're
Still the Bailey
strong.
7 going strong.
I feel for him though.
I do.
It's hard. It's very hard. Especially the baby of the family, man.
I know.
That's rough.
It is rough.
That's
But
super rough.
we hope that you guys have a good day.
Yeah.
And we will see you later
Friday.
this week, maybe? Friday? We'll see you on Friday.
On Friday. All right. Well, we
All right.
love you.
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bro.
Okay,
You
wanna
don't
that
do
again?
the K's any with me
I'm
anymore.
sorry. Okay, ready?
No. I want to sit here and bash you.
Oh my god, you guys, she's being so mean. Okay, do you want to say the okay first? Then I can join you, or do we want to say it together?
Love you. Okay. Bye.